So now we're back home. So you saw what I buy at the grocery store basically every time I go, because I kind of always eat similar foods all the time. And so as you can see, I kind of have everything spread out here, you know, and this is legitimately what I eat all the time, 24/7, 365. Okay, and so I'll break down everything individually, and I'll just try to give a brief explanation of why I eat what I eat. And I kind of want to start it off from least important to most important. And so I'll break it down by the macro. I think that's kind of simple. And so my carbohydrate sources, my biggest ones are definitely going to be, you'll see right here, white rice. All right, I eat white rice a lot, and that's mainly just for it's easy to digest. All right, simple to prepare, easy to digest, and it's important, especially when you're doing like lots of training, especially like I do, just to keep calories in, calories high. It just helps replenish glycogen. All right, and that's in your muscles, and it just gives you, you know, more strength, more power when you're training in the gym. Anyone that's ever not eating carbs and try to train hard, it's a very hard thing to do. So I do eat a good amount of carbs. White rice is a big one. And then my other big carbohydrate sources would just be potatoes. All right, it can be a white potato, it can be a red potato, also sweet potatoes are great too. All right, these are a little less calorically dense than white rice. However, I feel like they're a bit more nutrient dense. I know these are loaded with potassium, which is a great thing, and definitely try to get all your vitamins and minerals naturally from real foods if you can. So I crush a lot of potatoes. Really, I would say rice and potatoes are like probably how I eat most of my carbohydrates. I also, every morning, I get oats. These are just like simple, quick cooking oats. And I put them in a bowl. I put some boiling water in them, and I eat them with a bit of fruit, like some dates. And it's just a simple carbohydrate. It's a bit more filling than like rice and potatoes, but for a breakfast, I like being full after breakfast because it just keeps me full for a bit longer. So oats are a very simple carbohydrate as well. So rice, potatoes, and oats, you can never go wrong with that. And then I would say all my other carbohydrates are literally fruits. So I eat a few different fruits. Blueberries are good. There's like 0 calories in these. You can probably eat as many blueberries as you really want. You're like never gonna get fat from eating blueberries. It's a healthy snack too. If you have like a sweet tooth, you know, instead of maybe grabbing like a piece of candy or chocolate, just eat a handful of blueberries. They're good for you too, all right? I know there's lots of like antioxidants in it and stuff. I don't know if that stuff's important or not, but they say it is. I also eat lots of dates, okay? I live in Dubai, and you actually get really good quality dates in this part of the world. So I love putting dates in my in my oatmeal. I just put it in with cinnamon, dates, and honestly, it's like a treat for me because dates are like, they're really sweet. They're very like nutrient dense as well. It's one of the more like, or calorically dense, or one of the more calorically dense foods you can eat. Then basically after dinner every night, I'm not perfect. I do have a sweet tooth just like anyone else, but instead of indulging in like some unhealthy dessert like a brownie or cookie, I just have fruit. All right, and I'll usually have like a big bowl of fruit, and my favorite fruits to eat are mangoes. I love grapefruits. Oranges are good as well. Cantaloupe, or some people call it like rock melon, but I call it cantaloupe. That's always a really good one. But my 2 favorite fruits easily would be a pineapple and papaya. And 2 big reasons I love these fruits and I eat them often is because they're loaded with natural digestive enzymes, okay? With as much red meat as I eat, like red meat, it's a hard food for your stomach to break down. You know, it requires like a lot of stomach acid and things like that, and it takes time. But because these fruits are loaded with natural digestive enzymes, I feel like it definitely helps me digest my food better. Specifically pineapple, that's loaded with like bromelain. That's a really good natural digestive enzyme. And papaya is loaded with papain. All right, so most every night I'm gonna have either papaya or pineapple if I can. after my dinner. And I assure you, I feel like my digestion's great. I have very little like digestive stress. I rarely feel bloated. And I feel like a big reason to that is just the foods I eat. I just find what agrees with my body, and I feel like most people are quite similar. If you start eating more agreeable foods, your digestion is going to get a lot better. You're not going to be so bloated, all right? When you eat, you should not be bloated. I do not eat a lot of vegetables. I used to eat some vegetables. Vegetables, they're not bad at all. I just personally don't eat them that much. But if I do eat vegetables, they're going to be like easily digestible vegetables. Here you just have like a red bell pepper, or like some people call these capsicums. I think these are pretty loaded with vitamin C, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, literally high in vitamin C right there. So that's a great vegetable, easy to digest, and it tastes pretty good too. Orange, red, green, yellow bell peppers, I think they're all good. Some other vegetables I would eat would be like cucumbers or zucchini. I didn't have those for this video, but I would eat some of those vegetables as well. But honestly, there's many days that I go without eating any vegetables at all, and I just get all my nutrients, my micronutrients, from my other foods. So that kind of covers my carbohydrates. Now I'll move on to like some of my fat sources. Really, my main fat sources would be butter. I only cook in butter. I cook all my food in butter. It's the most healthy way to cook your food, all right? Some people cook with olive oil, coconut oil. Like, I've read and heard, whether that's good or bad, who knows? But I know for sure people have been cooking with butter for like millions of years, or like animal lard. Like, that's been around for as long as man has been around. And so it's a very natural and healthy way to cook. And whether it's high fat or not, like, you have to remember, fat is your friend, okay? Fat is not bad for you. So I eat a lot of butter. I do eat cheese. Cheddar cheese, Gouda, doesn't really matter. Just find some cheese that it agrees with your body. It's actually pretty low in lactose, and so a lot of people, if they can't drink milk, cheese is a really good alternative. Or that with like maybe a Greek yogurt as well. That's another good alternative if you cannot like tolerate milk. I personally do drink milk, all right? And honestly, I get double cream milk all the time because it's just more calorically dense. I'm not afraid of fat, all right? Like, I'm a pretty muscular guy and I'm burning lots of calories day in and day out. I'm on my feet all day. I train, multiple times a day, most times. And so I like nutrient dense foods. That's the biggest thing. All right, so my fat sources, definitely butter, cheese, milk, and then I get a lot of my fat from egg yolks. All right, so I crush eggs every day. Like, minimum I'm eating like 6 to 8 eggs most every day, and I eat always whole eggs. If you literally throw out the yolk, you're throwing out the most nutritious part of the egg. Egg whites are just pure protein, but there's so many good nutrients in the yolk that you should be eating them, like biotin and choline. All right, extremely good for you. So make sure when you're eating eggs, eat the whole egg. Otherwise, you're just basically wasting it, in my opinion. So eggs, definitely one of my like top 3 foods. So that kind of covers all my fats. And then now I'll move on to like proteins. And there's also gonna be fat in my protein because, as you know, I'll just start with like probably my main source of calories, and that's gonna be red meat. I consume red meat multiple times a day, every day. And the reason I do that is because this is the highest quality of protein that you can eat, in my opinion, or at least that I can get access to. Ideally, you could be eating like buffalo or elk or wild game meat, and that would probably be the healthiest way to consume your protein. But here in Dubai, this is what I get, and I spend a lot of money on quality food because I just look at it as an investment in my health. And I don't eat chicken. Not that there's anything wrong with chicken, I just personally don't consume it. I feel like red meat is just a much better alternative. I mean, chicken, it may fit your macros, but you have to remember micronutrients matter. And like, if you're gonna compare chicken and steak, like red meat is loaded with far more micronutrients than chicken. I want to say red meat has like 3 times the amount of iron, 6 times the amount of B12, and I think it's 9 times the amount of zinc, as compared to chicken. So micronutrient wise, red meat is way more nutrient dense and it's healthier. It tastes better. And if you think about it, why is red meat more expensive? It's just a higher quality food. Why is chicken cheap? Because it's a lower quality food. If you ever have ever thought about chicken, it literally has a 6-week lifespan. From the day that it hatches out of its egg to the day it's slaughtered is 42 days. There's a pretty fascinating documentary on Netflix that goes into that. But chicken is fine. I'm just saying I personally don't eat it. I try to eat as optimally as I can. And so red meat is the way to go for me. And it's not bad for your heart either, I should say that. It's been unjustly demonized in the past as, raising high cholesterol and that kind of nonsense. That is all outdated, evidence. If you really look at it, red meat does not cause heart disease or anything like that. High cholesterol, yeah, it gives you high dietary cholesterol, but there's a difference between dietary cholesterol and blood cholesterol. Do not fear red meat, all right? It's an extremely healthy food. Sorry if I digressed, but I feel really passionate about eating red meat. I eat it every day, like I said. And then literally one of the, I think, most important things that I eat, and a big reason I don't eat many vegetables, is because I eat a lot of beef liver, okay? And I realize this may not look appetizing to you, okay? I get it. But really, when you think about food, you should think about eating for purpose and less for pleasure. I guarantee if more people ate for purpose and less for pleasure, the world would be a much healthier place, okay? Liver, it's literally the most nutrient dense food in the world. I'll put a graphic up on this video and you can just see how nutrient dense liver is. It's an amazing food, and I feel like if there's going to be any superfoods, liver would be one. I consume mainly beef liver. You can eat chicken liver. It's good as well. I just prefer beef liver. I feel like it's probably a bit healthier. It's just a personal preference of mine. But anytime you can get like a good high quality animal liver, eat it, all right? And it does grow on you. You may not find it appetizing at first, but I assure you, if you prepare it correctly, then it's totally fine. You can even like grind it into a paste and eat it that way too, but it's so nutrient dense, I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't eat it, all right? And so way more nutrient dense than vegetables. Another thing that I should mention, animal foods are much more easily digested and assimilated by your body versus plant foods, okay? So humans, we evolved eating animal foods. I don't want to go into that discussion, but I feel very strongly about eating, animal foods. I would say I have like a pretty animal-based diet. I do consume fruits and vegetables as well, but I'd probably say 70 to 80% of my total daily calories are going to come from animal foods. And then finally, my other protein source, I'm not perfect, would be just like a whey protein. The brand doesn't even matter. I'm not sponsored by Dymatize or anything like that. This is just the brand that I buy. A good solid whey protein I think can help you a lot, because if you're doing a lot of training or just a lot of physical activity, you want to make sure you keep your protein high. And sometimes it's hard to hit your macros, or at least your proteins, eating only real whole foods. And so if you want to supplement with a good, like, decent whey protein powder, that's a good idea. I have no issues with like other forms of protein, like plant protein, egg protein, or beef protein. I just personally consume whey protein. It's just simple and easy. I might have 1 or 2 like whey protein shakes every day, especially after when I'm done training. So I know I'm forgetting a few things, but I would say in a nutshell, these are the foods that I consume on a daily basis. Oh yeah, don't forget water, okay? Everyone drinks water, obviously. I drink a lot of water. Again, I drink mineral water. And yeah, it's more expensive for sure, but again, it has minerals in it, and it's gonna be a bit healthier for you. And if you look at health as an investment, I have no issues paying more for water. And I think it tastes better too, like versus like tap water or just like the other water you can get in like the big 5-gallon jugs. I drink that as well, but as often as I can, I'll drink a good high quality mineral water. And then I also drink some juice, kind of like with my fruit. I try to drink most of my juice like around my workout, just because I feel like that's when my body needs it the most, when I'm, you know, when I really need to be burning carbohydrates for energy. So yeah, that basically covers how to eat and what I eat, and I hope that gives you a better idea on food. Just remember, when you're eating, try to consume only real, whole, non-processed foods, okay? I never eat processed foods. I literally only eat real whole foods. Besides my whey protein, that's literally it. I'm eating like meat, eggs, carbohydrates such as rice, potatoes, or oats, fruits. I drink milk, and that's really like the bulk of my diet. I don't eat any processed foods because like I don't think it's good for you. So I hope that gives you, like I said, a better idea on how to eat. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. I'll get to it. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. If you got some value out of it, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you like the way I train, click on the link above, truestrength.co. I have some awesome ebooks like Jacked and a Half, Dumbbells for Days. I also have some awesome training programs, Straight Up Strength, True Strength Compete, all with free trials. No matter what, train hard, get jacked.